Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are testing the first of these colour book eyeshadow palettes from Revolution. We have a stack, there is 5 in total and I have them all. We have a stack behind me of the other 4. Revolution have got an offer on, well they've got several offers on at the moment actually, but on these in particular they've got an offer on where if you buy 4 of them you get the 5th for 3. They are a bit more expensive than a normal Revolution palette, they are £15. However, it is like 2 eyeshadow palettes. So if I open her up, you can see you've got double the eyeshadows. So you have a shimmer side and you have a matte side. And the other thing that I love about this palette is you have this plastic divider. It's a really thick, durable plastic. So when I was creating this look, which I think is really, really pretty, it was so much easier to work with this palette because if I was holding the palette like this and it didn't have the plastic, I would be, you know, my hands would be all in the shadows. So I could hold it like this and I've still got access to all these shadows. And then vice versa, when I want access to the other side, I can hold this side. Otherwise, you'd be kind of holding the edges and doing this and that and the other. So I do just think that is a really great, you know, feature. The only thing, obviously, with this palette is because it's double-sided, there's no mirror. But I don't really generally use mirrors in palettes. I generally will have the palette down next to me and I will hold like a mirror like this. So, I mean, that doesn't really bother me because I don't generally use palette mirrors. But saying that, if I was going away on holiday, I think it would bother me because it is just easy. If you've got a palette, you can just do your makeup like this in the hotel room quickly or whatever. And that makes it really handy. You don't have to take a separate mirror with you. So yeah, probably not great for travel. But then again, would you really travel with this? It is quite heavy, so you probably wouldn't anyway. But yeah. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to obviously cut to me creating this look with the palette, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some swatches because there is so many. I think I'm just going to pick you know, a good selection from both the matte and the shimmer sides. I just think that, you know, if I swatch every single one of these shades, you're going to get bored before we even get to trying the makeup. So I'm just going to swatch maybe 6 or 7 on each side, and then you get a good idea of the pigmentation, etc. So this is the one I used on my eyes today. It's not really swatched that well. It's because I got it damp when I was trying to make it work, and I found out afterwards it was better with just the finger than it was trying to get it damp and stuff. So that's not actually swatching well, but if you look at it in the pan, I have trashed it and wet it, and yeah, I've made a mess of that one, so I think that's why. Let's go to one that's not been trashed and see if that's going to swatch a bit better. Which one? We'll go with this one. Yeah, see, that swatch is much nicer. I should have just like stuck to using my finger rather than trying to use a wet brush. This palette doesn't seem to like wet brushes, so bear that in mind as well. It seems to like fingers. Ooh, look at that pink there. That is stunning. So we'll just do all the shimmers first. Well, not all of them, but some of them. And then we'll move on. Let's do a dark one. Then we'll move on to the mattes. Ooh, look at that one. It's not swatched that well, actually, but it is pretty. That's better. Right. We're going to do a thumb swatch because I'm running out of fingers. Never done one of them before. Ooh, look at that dark purple. Can you see the shimmer in that? That one is so pigmented and so stunning. Let me just get a wipe and then clean off my fingers and then we can go again. It's a problem only having 5 fingers. You can't do that many swatches. Right, just drying my fingers. Right, which one shall we go for next? Let's do this pink. This pink looks pretty. Oh, it is. Look at that pink. That is gorgeous. Like a maroony colour. It's a different maroon to the one I did before. Oh yeah, look at that one. Very, very pretty. I'm so spoiled for choice. I am just going to end up swatching this whole palette, I think. Let's go for a white. I don't know how that one's going to turn out. Ooh! Really, really nice. Look at that white. Oh, let me just swatch it a bit better. Look at that white there. That is so, so pretty. One more, then we'll move on to the mattes. Ooh, look at that one. Beautiful. So, yeah, I do think that they are very pigmented, very lovely shades. The one I used on my eyelids is gorgeous. So, whoo! Now we have the matte side. So I'm just going to swatch these at random as well. I'm just going to pick any old one up and swatch it. So we'll go with a dark purple to start with. And then it's pretty pigmented. Got a burgundy. Again, pretty pigmented. This colour I used on my eyes today. And it is just kind of subtle, but it's still got decent pigment despite being sort of light. And then, oh, we've got a grey. Let's go with this grey. Doesn't look the best, but actually it looks better in real life than it does on that swatch. So it does on camera, so that's not too bad. And let's go with this pink. Wow, look at that. That is incredible. So yeah, I do think the pigment's there. The shadows feel lovely. The shimmers in particular are very creamy. And yeah, I enjoyed using this palette. It blended like a dream. The crease colours I used the matte shades and they blended out beautifully. The only thing that I have to criticise this with is the fact that it doesn't really like being wet. The shimmer side, it didn't like a wet brush, but it was fine with a finger, and everything else about the palette is perfect. So yeah, very, very pleased, and I can't wait to try these other ones. If you do want to see these other ones, then please do pop in the comments down below which one you want to see next. We've got like a reddy orangey one, we've got a grey one, we've got a green and blue one, and then we've got like a more sort of neutrally browny shade one. Let me know which one you want to see next and I will do my best to accommodate. Also, if you are looking to see these other palettes, then do make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell and you'll be notified next time I upload a video. But yeah, enough of all that ramble, let's get on and I'll show you how I created this look. So we're going to start with the matte side because I always start with mattes. I generally only use shimmers on my eyelids unless there's no other option. So say a palette has a shimmer colour that I want to use because it's like say particularly dark or something like that, then I will just use it, but normally I would steer clear of shimmers unless it's on my eyelid, and I absolutely adore a shimmer. They're my favourite eyeshadows. I just don't think they sort of sit well in the crease. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with my crease makeup. I think just to sort of start us off, we're going to use this really pale pink here, and I'm just going to use that sort of above my eye, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just using this quite sort of loose blending brush. This one is a Illamasqua brush. That's the code there. And I think I just picked this one up from TK Maxx because I wouldn't really pay the prices that Illamasqua charge for brushes, but I do love Illamasqua brushes, so whenever I see any in sort of TK Maxx, I always pick them up. I think I probably paid somewhere between £6 and £10 for this brush, but it's probably on the website, I can't remember now, but it's probably like £18–20, which is too much in my opinion for a single brush, although it is a good brush. I do actually prefer Sigma brushes, and they are a similar price point. I'd rather buy them at that price, but for the price I paid, love this brush. So I'm just going to literally sweep this light pink shade over my lid. I'm just giving myself a bit of a base to work with. So I'm just literally sweeping this pink shade over my crease, just so that I've got something to blend with. I don't always do this step. To be honest, I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with my eye look, so I'm just doing this to sort of start it off. I think we're going to go for something a bit different, so I'm going to take this shade here, which is kind of like a cool purple shade, bordering on blue, and I'm just going to sweep that again all over my crease. This isn't working that well. I don't know whether it's because it's on top of that other shade. Oh, it's coming up all right now. I think it's just a very sort of buildable shade, which isn't a bad thing, because then you can go more subtle or you can go more vibrant in the one shade. So now I'm just going to go in with this slightly sort of shorter brush. This one is a Real Techniques one. I think it's just their ordinary sort of blending brush. It's not got colour on it, it is stained. And I think we're going to go in with this purple here because it is more sort of cool toned than some of the others. And I'm just going to put a little bit in my crease, like in my very crease, just to give the eye look a bit of definition. So now I'm just going to cut my crease with this Revolution Cut Crease Canvas. It's in the shade Illustrate. That's the shade I generally use all the time. I do have one in Halo, which is almost white, which I use when I'm doing a cut crease and I need it to be really vibrant or the colour is really pale on the eyeshadow. But for most of the time, this colour works fine. This is what I've used around my face today. So you can see it's a lot paler than me, and that helps with, you know, your eyeshadow popping. And I'm going to obviously go over this with foundation after anyway, and that will warm it up. But yeah, so I'm going to go in with my cut crease brush from Sigma, and I'm just going to carve out my eyelid with the concealer. So we're going to move on to the shimmer side of the palette. I love that this hard plastic is there to protect the other side, because then you can hold it like this and not worry about, you know, getting your fingers in. It just makes it a much more sort of usable, you know, easy to use palette. I imagine like some of the cheaper palettes, this would be open and you'd end up, you know, in a right old mess. It's just easier to hold it like this than it is to sort of hold it underneath or anything else. So anyway, enough digressing. Let's move on to the shimmers. I really can't decide. I want to go for some of these like cool tones. I think we're going to go for the slightly darker one. So we're going to go for this one here and hope that goes well with this eye look. So I've got loads of setting spray, but it is down at the bottom of these drawers and it is under, there is a pile of stuff for filming like sort of next to it. So literally we are using this product here. It's just a spray. I needed something to wet my brush and I'm using this brush and I'm just going to spritz it. Normally I'd use setting spray or something like that, but as I say, there's a pile of stuff down here for me to film, so it's in the way. So I've spritzed my brush and then I'm just going to try applying this shimmer. It may need a finger, sometimes it needs a finger. It's not working as well as I'd like, so I'm going to use my finger. It does feel really nice and creamy in the pan. Shimmers often don't like brushes. They are usually quite good with the, you know, the sort of ones that you get in eyeshadow palettes that no one ever uses anymore, or some people might. Those sort of like sticks with a sponge on. It does generally work well with those. The only thing with those is you must wash them because they harbour bacteria just like a brush would. So I think sometimes people think they're not very sanitary because people generally don't wash them. But as long as you do wash them, or you can buy actually more, if that's what you like to use, you can buy multi-packs. You can buy about 20 for £1 from Wilko. If you're going to just use them like 2 or 3 times, chuck them away, get a fresh one out, they're absolutely fine for that. I'm actually really impressed with that. That is beautiful. Really, really pretty. It's gone a bit on my inner corner, but I actually really like that. I might put more on my inner corner because it is such a beautiful shiny shade. So I'm going to go ahead and darken up the edge and maybe just sweep a bit more dark over the top of my eye. So I'm going to go back to matte. So I'm going to try this shade again. If this one's not coming out dark enough, I'll go with this one. But we'll try this one for now and see how we get on darkening up the edge. Yeah, so I think that looks really pretty. I'm just going to go over the very edge with a lighter colour just to blend that out a little bit because it's become a little bit unblended. So I'm just going to go back in with that pink we did originally and just blend the very edges. And I really like that. I think that is really, really pretty. Very simple look, very easy to replicate. And yeah, I think the pigmentation's there. So I'm going to finish off this second eye and then I will do the rest of my face and then I will come back to you and give you my final thought and my final look. Okay, so I'm back. I've done the rest of my makeup. So we just need to do my under eye. And I'm going in with the same dark purple and I'm just going to do the outer sort of quarter to third on both the eyes. And I'm going to go in with that same shimmer from before. I'm going to try it on this brush and hope it works out. I mean, to be honest, because it's my under eye, it doesn't need to be that vibrant anyway. And there we have it. So let's give you my overall verdict. Here is a close-up. So what do I think of this palette? I actually really like it. I love the fact that you have duplicates. So you have all your matte shades and then all your shimmers match so that you can, you know, create a look that really sort of ties in together. I love the fact that you have a whole palette of mattes. Sometimes with Revolution palettes, I mean, most of the time there is enough of the mattes, but sometimes there is sort of a lower percentage of mattes than shimmers, and it's kind of understandable because shimmers are pretty. Shimmers are what draw people to palettes if you're a shimmer person, but I do love shimmer. I will put shimmer on 99% of my looks. However, I only ever use one shimmer on a look and I'll use 3 or 4 mattes on the same look. So you do need more mattes than shimmers, or the same amount, if that makes sense. So yeah, I love that fact about it. I love the fact that it blended out beautifully. It really was great at blending, and I love how the shimmer has turned out. Once I used my finger for it, I didn't like it with the wet brush at all. It just didn't seem to go on as well as it did with my finger. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it, and it actually went on okay under the eye as well with a non-wet brush, if that makes sense. So yeah, my overall verdict is I would highly recommend these palettes. Obviously I haven't tried the other ones yet. They are behind me. They will go in future testing videos. I will be doing them sort of every few days or possibly a couple of times a week until they are all done, because it is going to take me a while to sort of test all these. I'm not one for sort of testing a look, wiping it off and then testing another look, if that makes sense. I only tend to do one per filming day, and I do bulk film, so I perhaps only film 3 or 4 times a week as at most, sometimes only once or twice. So it may take me a little while, be patient, but I will get through these. And thank you to Samantha, who alerted me to these as well, because these are just such lovely, lovely palettes. But yeah, thank you again for watching. I hope you did find this useful, and if you're gonna purchase one of these, or you're thinking about purchase one of these, let me know in the comments down below which one you've got your eye on. I personally think this is my favourite one. I really, really like all the colours that are in it, and the grey one, because the grey one is so different. Sometimes I'm doing makeup looks where I could really use a grey, and I don't have many greys at all in any palettes. It's not a colour they kind of put in palettes. To have a monochrome palette is something very, very new and brilliant. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that one. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a video again soon. Bye!